At the dialogue titled, "What is Singapore's Future?", Senior Minister Goh Chok Tong highlighted 5 challenges and outlined 7 strategies for Singapore. He said that these strategies will ensure a better tomorrow. He was speaking to a packed audience of over 300 people at the Singapore Polytechnic. Highlighting the country's limitations, such as its finite land area and vulnerability to external events, SM Goh said that Singapore must firstly invest heavily in its own people.
So as you can see, we have been, over the last number of years, 10, 20 years, been emphasizing the quality of education, preschool, school system, through polytechnics, through universities. Spending more on polys, setting up a university so that poly graduates can go on to get a degree from well-known universities, working together with our own university to offer the degrees for poly graduates. We are investing in our people. So that's the first strategy, make sure that our people are as well educated as possible. Also developed a workforce which is adaptable and whose skills will be revamped, retooled, so that our workers can stay relevant. And of course, we're spending more on continuous education and putting funds aside for PMETs, the professionals, managers, executives, and technicians.
Secondly, Singapore must take advantage of the opportunities that abound in growing Asia.
China is growing and will continue to grow. China is expected to overtake the US as the world's largest economy in 20 years' time. They have to urbanize. They have to build more infrastructure. And there will be increasing demand for services. So this provides opportunities for us. Those are the skill sets, the knowledge, the entrepreneurship, the drive to go to the countries and take advantage of the growth, selling them products, selling them services.
Thirdly, Singapore is restructuring its economy and improving its productivity.
Next, we are determined to increase productivity by 2 to 3% a year. And we have put aside $2 billion into our National Productivity Fund.
The fourth point that SM Goh made was that Singapore must continue to maintain high standards of leadership in politics, civil sector, armed forces, and the home team sector.
We are now preparing for a 4th generation leadership to look after Singapore, and very few countries have the luxury to do this. And this leadership transition is even more important than previous transitions. First to second, I think, was quite important. Second to third, a bit more routine. But third to fourth is a watershed transition.
Fifth, SM Goh highlighted the importance of being open to international talent.
Well, but on a macro basis, we need to top up our own talent with international talent. I'm not saying that we do not have talent. In fact, we have. But you ask yourself, it's never enough to do the many things we want to do. So our strategy is to remain open to international talent and to Singapore, but at a pace which will not cause discomfort to Singaporeans.
For his sixth point, SM Goh reiterated Singapore's need to maintain its core values, which are just and fair society, meritocracy, equal opportunities, integrity, multiracialism, being hardworking and prudent, as well as self-reliance.
Individually, each item is not unique. But if you can put them together and have the country resting on these core values, they become a very strong competitive asset.
And finally, SM Goh spelled out the 7th strategy for Singapore's future success, which is the creation of an inclusive society with a Singaporean core, even if the income gap widens.
Free market economy, as you know, the more able ones will streak ahead, earn more, and those who are not so able will remain at the bottom. Income may still go up, but not as fast as those middle-income Singaporeans and high-income Singaporeans. So there is an element of a widening income gap, which is a political and social problem. So we've got to address this, and if our philosophy is that of inclusiveness, we'll find ways to transfer income from those who have to help those who don't have, so that all of us can benefit from the growth in the economy.
SM Goh says that these 7 strategies will enable Singapore to prosper and withstand external shocks to its economy. He then laid out his vision of Singapore over the next 10 years.
I am confident that over the next 10 years, we will grow by 3 to 5% real GDP per year. With 3 to 5% growth, we will generate about 50,000 jobs every year. 50,000, which is twice the net number of Singaporeans and PRs entering the labour force. We will grow real income by 30%. By 2020, Singapore's per capita GDP will reach about US dollars 55,000 from today's 43,900 US dollars. So that's the kind of real income we hope to have by the year 2020. And if we achieve that, we will be one of the top 10 richest countries in the world.
SM Goh proceeded to take questions from the floor. For the full Q&A session, watch the subsequent clips.